Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the most disappointing basketball shoes of 2020. It doesn't mean they're bad performers. I'm just saying I was very disappointed in the shoe itself as far as like coming from the predecessor, you know what I'm saying? So of course, I'll go over each and every one of these shoes and why I didn't really like it all too much. But anyways, let's get it started off with number 5. And that is the New Balance, the Kawhi, right? So as you guys know, the Omnis was one of my favorite shoes of last year. It was an incredible performer. I mean, New Balance didn't really do the release too well. You know, I mean, Kawhi Leonard was, I believe, in the finals, and he was wearing the Omnis with the Raptors, right? And they didn't release it. They released it like 2 months after the finals was over. It's like, wouldn't you want to release the shoes when it's like at the peak hypeness of the shoe? You know what I'm saying? Sorry, terrible grammar, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? But anyways, you know, so the Omnis was awesome. You know, it had a great knit material. Cushion was awesome with the full-length fuel cell. It's just a super comfortable, great looking shoe too. And then the Kawhi comes out, I'm like, oh, those look pretty damn nice. You know, I like the way it looks. The price is a little expensive, you know, 160 bucks, $20 more than the Omnis, but I guess it's Kawhi Leonard's shoe, so it's okay. It's justified as far as the price goes, I guess. But then I got it in and I played in it, and it's not that nice. I mean, it's not terrible. It was a pretty solid performer. You know, the traction was very durable. It had a very good bite. Cushion was awesome as well. I mean, not awesome, but good. You know, like it had a full length fuel cell like the Omnis. It's soft, it has a nice little bounce, impact protection is good and all that. But then with the materials, it's just super stiff and very glued down, too glued down in my opinion, you know? And it's just, even when you break it in, it's like, you know, why? And then not only that, but then the ankle part, it would just bother the hell out of me. I couldn't really play in it all too much. I mean, I feel like I would have liked the shoe a lot more if that ankle part, that heel part didn't dig into my Achilles all too much. By the way, if you guys have this shoe, tell us if you guys have that problem. Like, I hope it's just me and none of you guys are experiencing this, because it's terrible to experience. It really bothered me while I was playing in it. But yeah, I mean, the Kawhi, I was expecting a lot more, you know? I thought it was gonna be like on the level of the Omnis, but it kind of wasn't, you know? So there's the Kawhi there. Alright, moving on to the next shoe is the Dawn issue number 2. Of course, the 3 has been leaked, and it's going to come out next year in like 8 months. For some reason, the Dawn issues are always leaked like 8 months before it's released. So we know what it's going to have. And I'm super excited for it because the Dawn issue 3, by the way, has Light Strike. And of course, I really like Light Strike. That was just my thing, you know, like Light Strike is a very light, you know, low density cushioning setup as opposed to Bounce, which is, I mean, Bounce is very nice, don't get me wrong. It has a nice bounce, of course, because, you know, it's named Bounce, so it better be bouncy, right? But it's just a high density cushion and makes the shoe overall very heavy. And that's like my thing with the Dawn issues. Like, I mean, it's just not my type of shoe. I'm not saying it's a bad performer or anything, but it's just, I mean, like the one with the flat shape and the outsole, I guess the bounce cushion was nice, but then it was just super bulky, pretty heavy. The materials were nice though. The Dawn issue 2, on the other hand, just took it to another level. I mean, it's a very cozy material, very comfortable shoe to like walk around in and all that, because of how much padding there is in the material. Like, in my opinion, it's a little too much. I mean, support is good and all that. Cushion with the full-length bounce was nice, but then it's just not my type of shoe. And I was expecting a good amount more because it looked like an upgraded version of the one, but it kind of wasn't for me. The next shoe is an actual good performer, and that is the Anta KT6, right? So the expectations that I had of this shoe were just like through the roof, right? So I thought it was gonna be awesome. They were boasting like the new cushioning setup with the Smart SAM system and like the Alti cushioning setup. It's supposed to be super bouncy, and if you shoot a bullet through it, you won't die or something. As a carbon fiber plate, the traction looks awesome, and the aesthetics of the shoe is awesome. I love the way the KT6 looks. In my opinion, it's a great looking shoe. But then like I got it in and it was a big disappointment, you know? They're using way too much plastic, way too much fuse, way too much glue in that shoe. It's a very stiff shoe as well. and it felt nothing like any of his previous shoes. Like the KT3 was nice, the KT4 with the knit material, the 5 with the knit material, the 3 had a knit material as well. And you know, it's just like the materials were too stiff, and I didn't like it all too much. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's a solid performer, you know, it gets the job done. Cushioning is not bad. Materials, I mean, I guess they're super minimal and very thin. It's just stiff and glued down, so it doesn't feel as nice and comfortable as a knit. So because of my expectations and what I was expecting of this shoe versus like his other shoes, was a pretty big disappointment in my opinion. So there's the KT6. Next is the Mamba Fury, but as you guys know, I didn't like his other shoe. Like, you guys remember the mentalities? The mentalities were bangers, guys. The traction was insane. You have the drop-in Lunarlon. It's a very, very minimal, very lightweight shoe. Nice materials. And of course, these weren't as nice as the mentalities. What were these called? The Mamba Instinct and the Mamba Rage, I believe. And of course, you got the Mamba Fury. I mean, it's a great looking shoe, but then just not that nice. Outdoor use wasn't good either. I mean, the cushion is terrible, the materials were not that nice, the traction was not good either. I mean, you know, I didn't really like the other shoe all too much, you know, and it's pretty much a recycled like outsole and midsole. So I guess I wasn't super disappointed as far as like what I was expecting from the shoe, but like, it's Kobe's shoe, and why can't you guys make a shoe like the Mentality again? You know, the Mentalities were awesome. The Kobe Mentality 2, I believe this is what it's called. So anyways, so there's that. Next, we got the Nike Air Zoom BB NXT. This shoe is going for like 180 bucks. It's super expensive, and I was very, very excited about this shoe. Like like my first impression, I was like, yo, this is super nice. You got the double stacked React midsole, and I guess like the React insole, which kind of didn't really do anything, but the cushion was so nice, and I was so happy that Nike finally made it correctly. As far as like, you know, the React wasn't like a core and it wasn't stiff, you know, it was actually React. It felt like the Epic Reacts. It was soft, it was bouncy. It's just an awesome cushioning setup at first. And then the materials weren't bad, you know, thin, comfortable knit material basically. And then, you know, of course I played in it, and it's a very, very unstable shoe in my opinion. Like, the heel just compresses a little too much. I definitely feel like they should have caged the cushioning setup there in the heel on the lateral side. So because of that, of course, I can't really play in it. I mean, I didn't roll my ankle or anything, and you know, it wasn't super dangerous for me, but then it's just that feeling of not being safe, and I always had to worry about like, oh, where am I landing, you know, like where am I putting my feet. It's just because of that, I didn't want to play in the Air Zoom BB NXT, and that's why I didn't really recommend it for you guys either. Of course, if you don't mind that, it's a great cushioning setup. Traction is awesome, support is there, materials are thin. Just I love the outsole like shape. So yeah, I mean, I really wanted to like it, but then just don't really play in it as much. And last but not least, we got the Adapt 2.0s, and those are going for 350 bucks. And there's really no improvement in the shoe as opposed to the other shoe that came out, you know. So the Adapt system didn't really improve anything on it. You know, you have the Qi wireless charging, which is awesome, but then like, they didn't increase the speed at which the gears turn so that you know, the laces tighten a little bit faster. It's still relatively slow, and the shoe is freaking heavy. They gotta make the shoe lighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like 16, 17 ounces, one of the heaviest shoes that you could get. Very bulky as well. You know, like in the heel area, you have all that unnecessary, like you have that crazy pull tab in the heel. Just not a great shoe in my opinion. You know, I feel like the original Adapt BB was a lot better. So yeah, the Adapt BB 2.0 was kind of a disappointment. Hopefully they keep improving. Of course, every single year they've been making another Adapt BB. So hopefully next year we see the Adapt BB 3.0 and they make some improvements as far as like weight goes. Make it a lot lighter, make it a lot less bulky, and of course improve the Adapt system as well. You know, if they can improve it, that'd be awesome. So yeah, in my opinions, those were some of the most disappointing shoes of 2020. Not saying they're bad performers or anything, it's just, I guess my expectations were a lot more for these shoes. But anyways, if you guys have any disappointing shoes of 2020, tell us down in the comment section below. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.